Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the King's Table. I have Lavington Creative Economy Practice, and I am blessed to have you here with me today. And today we are going to be discussing about something that is prevalent amongst most of the people between, let's say, 15 or even 13, going onwards. Something that we call anxiety. Anxiety, watu wengine wanakuanga na other situations, panic attacks and all that. Yeah. So, want to take you through specific points and specific steps that you need to take so that you are not found in that state. And even when you do find yourself in that state, you focus on getting yourself out of that state. And at the end of it, the main aim is for you to make sure that you understand who you are. Because if you do not understand who you are, every single thing that you get to do will be focused on getting to focus on the future instead of being in the present. I keep on saying these things in most of the videos that I have. If you do not stay in the present, the enemy will lie to you to focus on the past or the future. But the past and the future does not exist because you've never been to the future and you've never been to the past. But God, who is the Alpha and Omega, is in you. And everything that you are doing is your past concerned to him because he has already seen, because he's in the future. So unless you put yourself in that headspace of understanding that as long as God has said that he is the Alpha and Omega, he has seen the end from the beginning. Before you were born, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Unless you understand that and you put yourself in that posture of also comprehending that God has said that I am, he's in the present. Even faith itself focuses on Hebrews 11:1 that says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you do understand these critical foundations and principles, then you bring yourself to the point of only focusing on now. Isaiah 26, is it Isaiah 26 verse 3? Isaiah 26 verse 3, if I am not wrong. Yes, Isaiah 26 verse 3 said, you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you. Yeah, so one of the things that I have realized in regards to, because anxiety is trying to take control of the future, depression is clinging on to the things of the past. So I have found myself in so many instances of depression, and anxiety, by the way, so and panic attacks. Sasa leo nataka kuwapatia story. So this story is not for you to get to wallow on the things that I'm going to say, but just for you to get to see the significance of putting your trust in God and letting things go. Because the more you cling on to things, the more you prohibit God from moving the way he wants to move. Because you become your own God. Because you want to take control of the thing that you have not yet seen. So, understanding that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What does that mean? Does that mean that you focus on the thing that you haven't yet gotten, or you focus on the person, and that person will get to reveal to you the things that you are yet to see? So, I have found myself in so many instances. We can speak about the Januaries. We can speak about, today I'll speak about my transition from not being born again to being born again. So the story goes like this. So how did I get born again? And how did I reach to the point of understanding that there's a peace that comes when you cling, when you lean, when you seek God, when you seek that kingdom and all its righteousness. So, now pati story inaanza Mombasa. This is Mombasa when 2018 tuko pale Bamburi Fisheries, tuko kwenye bedsitter big. Shout out to Mombasa Maze 001. Like the houses constructed in Mombasa, and even Malindi, by the way, I've not been to Diani yet, looking forward to coming to Diani. The houses constructed there are quite huge. So unaweza fikiria nikisema bedsitter, it's in Nairobi they call those studios. It's a very huge house. So there's a section where you can put like a 6-seater sofa. And then there's a section here, obviously kuna wardrobe and all that. But that notwithstanding. So nimetoka where was I from then? Nimetoka Malindi, started in Nairobi, nikatoka Nairobi nikakuja Mombasa, nikatoka Mombasa nikatransferiwa nikaenda Malindi. So nimetoka, hiyo ni story for another day. Nimetoka Malindi nimekuja Mombasa. So nikiwa Mombasa nimeingia Bamburi Fisheries. My sister alikuwa na stay kabla ufike literally a few minutes to Bamburi Cement. So like our distances were about like 10 minutes apart. So mimi nilikuwa na stay hiyo place inaitwa Fisheries. Nimeingia hivi quite an innocent child. How old was I? I don't even want to say. But an innocent child not exposed to a lot of things. Nimeingia hivi, nimepata bedsit yangu. I did not know, just to give you guys perspective, I did not know that the building that I was in ilikuwa tu na wanaume kama wanne. Like it ground floor, first, second, third, fourth. I think there were 5 floors. Like a 5-story building, if I'm not wrong. And the majority of the tenants there were females, and they were youth, like madem. Na most of them walikuwa wale madem wenye wana usiku wanakuanga shughuli. Wacha nisiseme ni shughuli gani hizo, but we saw a lot of things, a lot of V8s, ma range zikikujapo kuchukua watu. We saw a lot of situations where ladies were comparing their M-Pesa statements to other M-Pesa statements. Wewe nani amekutumia pesa ngapi leo? Mimi nani amenitumia pesa hii? And then a dude calls, anashika simu. Sako, hi baby, yes, sijui nimekumiss. The lady anamchocha, but mimi niko hapo naona wanamtusi. So you can imagine the guys that are usually looking for women because they supply money or they give money to them, but at the end of it, dem akona wanaume wengine kama wasaba, because lifestyle lazima ikuwe sustained. Yeah, so nimeingia hapo. The neighbor that I have, shout out, she's a very great friend. I won't say her name, but she knows herself if she's watching this video. So now, sasa ndio nikuwa MCA wa hiyo building, let's say. Because she used to have a very good way of connecting all the ladies that were in the building. Most of them, they used to come to her house. That's how I got to see the situation of nani na nani wanapiga simu. But notwithstanding. So tuko hapo, tumeingia hapo, tumefika point ya nikiwa Nairobi nilikuwa zile za I need a job. So si nimepata job, nimekuja Mombasa, Malindi Mombasa. Niko Mombasa, niko zile za okay, sawa. I need friends. Nimeanza kupata friends through what? Through dance. Through where? Clubs. So nikiwa Bamburi kuna clubs kadhaa ziko hapo hivyo. Sitasema hizo zingine they are not as significant. So kuna moja ilikuwa inaitwa Sky Lounge. Hiyo ndio yenye nilikuwa naenda sana. So there's a guy that I know which is a very famous guy, a DJ, VJ Chris. Shout out to VJ Chris. So tulikuwa tunapatananga na VJ Chris kwa clubs, akifanya maneno yake, akimix sisi nayo ni kudance. I never used to smoke or drink, by the way. Mimi kazi yangu tu ni kwa wasichana. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa my main issue. Shida yangu ni kwa wasichana. So and I never actually knew one of the main things that I used to look for in those relationships, they were not even relationships but situationships, was I used to search for affirmation and just affection from the context of quality time, which I never got from my dad. So you can imagine that kind of twisted mentality that you need to get that type of thing from women. And when I realized it wasn't easy for me, it didn't click to me that was what I needed until I was born again. Before then, I was zile tu za, okay, see me, I have the money. Niko na hii pesa. The only thing I need to do, nifike klabu, tunadunda, na you dance hapo hivyo for 3 hours, uko kwa stage, hata watu wanafikiri umesmoke kitu fulani yenye umeoza bana. Unapatana na dem, obviously na unajua madansa wakiwa kwa klabu, mademu wanakuanga wameflock hivi. So umefika kwa klabu na dance, ukisha dance, mademu wanakuja wanajisurround kwako hapo hivyo, unatafuta ule mwenye unapenda, unachukua, unafika kijani, you do the thing, and then mnaendelea. As Abel Mutua says, mna peruse constitution. But one of the things that I used to experience, let me give you guys a backstory. There's an experience that I had which I didn't know was very traumatic. When I was a student, there's an experience that I had with someone who I didn't know was infected with HIV. And how I got to know this experience was nilikuwa mgonjwa one time, and I was in a situation where I needed help and they were just looking at me. They didn't want to come close to me. So I was wondering, nilikuwa nimeenda these big hospitals. Achata nisiseme ndio wasianze, but mnaijua inakuanga imetengenezwa na matufaa. Ni matufaa hapana, hizi clay, this big hospital. So I used to have a Jubilee insurance card. Nimefika Hosi, nimetoka shule Jamhuri High School, nimechapa sijui ni githeri ama ni maragwe gani hiyo, niko imenikoroga tumbo. Nimefika hospitali, niko na shida na tumbo. Nimeenda, nimeko hiyo section ya insurance, nimepatia na kadi, wameniambia ingia ucheki dokte. Nimeingia nikacheki. I did not know that they gave me a bill of 10,000. Apparently nilikuja nikaambiwa you only needed Flagyl. Ndo isoti history ya tumbo. Lakini sasa madokte wakakuja wakanipatia tablets, madawa zinatoshana na hiyo height. So you wonder what was the reason for all these tablets, but mimi sikujua. Unapatiwa na daktari dawa, unaenda na unachapa. This is also a precaution to every single person that is watching. Don't ever just take medicine without actually understanding the reason as to why you're taking medicine. Because at the end of it, mwili, there's a reason as to why it can self-heal. God akui create kwetu inachapot. Being pumped with tablets all the time is not the solution. So nimeenda, nimepatiwa tablets, nimechapa, nikakuwa na effect fulani. So hiyo effect ikafanya nikaanza kupuke. So nachapa hiyo tablet. Apparently I never knew that I could have an allergy. Nilikuwa na allergy na there's a component in the tablet itself. I don't know if it's sulfur, I don't know what it was. But after 10 minutes naenda na puke. So inifika to a point where nikichapa hiyo dawa na puke na sikuwa nimekula. So nikaanza kupuke damu. So it was bad. So apparently in that specific situation I contracted is it amoeba ama hii damu inaitwanga aje? Watu wa madaktari mtatuambia. So niko hapo nimepuke, the person is looking at me, I need help, they're not helping. Nikasema sawa. So simi nikamaliza ma story. So they decided to tell me to just vava. Nikatoka hapo tukafika, ikabidi nimepelekwa kwa madhe. Tukatoka hapo hivyo tumefika kwa madhe akaniambia kwani form ni gani nini. And then later on I tell her that situation outside of even the medicine and all that. Then I realize maze, this person didn't come close because they are infected, they are HIV positive. I never knew that. All the time I was with them, I never knew that. So I think it kind of traumatized me because I started wondering, so yani someone can look this healthy but they're sick. So every single time when I was in Mombasa, nipata na dem, tumefika Kijani, mtoka club tumefika Kijani. Tumefika Kijani, mimi ndo hiyo nayo hizo masiku akina John Legend, akina mwingine mwenye nini anaitwanga nani, akina Sam Smith. That time hakukuwa ametokea all out. So una dim light, unaweka ngoma, you do the thing. It kept on going on, but now the moment those ladies left the house, that the anxious thoughts started coming in. Like zile okay, what if they're pregnant? What if maybe they're infected? And then I get it. And then I start taking these meds that I've never even seen. Funny thing, I've never seen the ARV meds. I don't know. The people that are usually infected are very keen in hiding the meds and taking them at solitary places. So, hiyo nilikuwa lifestyle yangu. Unapigia dem, baadaye dem anakuambia by the way, siko infected, niko sawa. Funny thing, is there anyone that I ever tested before having sex with them? Hey, is there anyone? No. There is no lady that I ever tested. But thank God, none of them was ever infected. Yani mimi na thank tu Mungu. Because give you guys a background so that you understand how messed up this thing is. My dad is a pastor. In the same point, my mom is also a pastor. So when you understand that, and then when I got out of our home, my main aim was to never be a Christian, never be a believer. Yani, nilikuwa nimesema mimi na Mungu wana worship hatutaipatana. Yani itakuwa tu mimi na dunia. Hizi vitu zote zenye wamekuwa wakifanya wakisema nisiwahi fanya, mimi sasa ndo nitakuwa nazifanya. Left, right and center. Na watajua wajui. So you can imagine all the ladies that I used to meet, all of them, unapatana na dem, unadozi naye. Immediately after umedozi naye, hata ulali, una sweat, like from constant thinking of, hey, what if akona hii, what if akona hii. So like after every 3 months, so that mujue ni norma, after every 3 months I used to go and test. Just out of nowhere. Si ati kusema ati nilikuwa kwa situation ya ati juu nimedozi na mademu wangapi zi. Like they're accountable. Hata wajafika wa 10. But to me at that time, it was a very huge deal. Because imagine umetoka from that innocent side. Shout out to a guy called Nelson. He's a friend of mine. But sasa nikiingia Mombasa, yeye ndo mwenye nini-introduce kwa hizi maklabu. Sikukuwa nimewahi kwenda klabu, but sasa mimi nilikuwa tu dancer. So kufika kwa maklabu, kupatana na hizo situation zote, and then kupatana na madem, and then sasa after hiyo situation ime happen, so now focusing on what if I get this thing that nilikuwa nimechiki ule mse akonayo na sijawahi jua, sasa itakuaje? And then give you guys the weirdest situation. So you can imagine how God used to help me in such situations. Mi naonanga tu ni God, because I don't think kuna anyone else. So there are 3 scenarios in my life. There are 3 scenarios. The first scenario of there are 3 scenarios in my life where God stopped me from, I believe it's God. God stopped me from having sex with 3 ladies. Separate situations. I never knew why until later on. So, hata nyinyi wenye mjokoka manze mkisikia hiyo kitu, kuna kitu tu kana kwambia you need to listen to that voice, because at the end of it there is a reason as to why certain things happen, and when you feel a specific thing in your conscience, manze usi rub off. So the first situation was this. I was maliza tu high school. Mimi ule mtu mwenye nimesema nataka kufanya exactly the opposite things that my parents stand for. I will never be a Christian. I will never be a believer in my life ever. So patana na hivi nimemaliza tu high school, jamu imeisha tu hivi. Tumeanza kupatana. So unajua hiyo I don't know right now if when you finish immediately you transition to you transition to uni. Sisi tulikuwa na 1 year gap. I don't know what the 1 year gap was for. So hiyo 1 year or maybe 7 months, not even 1 year, 7 months. So those months tulikuwa tunapatana mimi na mabeshti zangu kwa estate. Tunaongea nini and obviously you know ladies in the community also wenye wamemaliza mtapatana tu nao. So sisi ni akina nani na mnajua bado una dancingi mangoma nini. So tunatoka hapo birthdays zikiwa ndio wao sisi tunaenda kwa manyumba za watu. So tukaanza kutembea. There's a place, the place where we are right now is a place before it was constructed, it was a farm. It was literally like a desert, but sasa it's a hill inateremka chini, and then at the valley side there's a huge river. So hiyo river sai amwezi jua ni wapi naongelelea, juu ni lami, mansions are there and all that. So at that time there was a river, and that river ilikuwa na a cliff that had stones. So sisi kama watoi vijana tulikuwa tunakuja tunajibamba hapo hivyo, unatoa mashati shorts, tunakuja tunaruka, tunaingia ndani ya hiyo river. It had like a hapo hivyo ilikuwa it looked like a swimming pool actually, because river ilikuwa inakuja hapo inatulia hapo hivyo, and then kuna side nyingine inaenda kiasi. So tukiwa hapo tukapata na madem fulani, and then tukianza kujiona nao madem nini tunaanza ku hang out na wao, then later on tukaanza kupatana nao. Then I ended up finding there's a lady, acha niseme jina, acha nimuite Queen Latifa. So Latifa ako hapo, tumepatana nini dem ako sawa, ako na mbele na nyuma, acha nisiseme lakini ni ukweli. Tumepatana hivi, tumeanza kuongea nini, maboys wamesiji tunakwanga ujinga gani kama vijana by the way. Tumepatana hivi, maboys wananiambia by the way, do you think you can actually get to bag this chile? Nikasema manze can. Juu nimechochwa, simi nikaingiana na box nini, tukaanza kubonga nini, tuna text. Hiyo time hata nilikuwa hakukuanga na net. Kulikuwa na net kweli, kulikuwa na I think Facebook ilikuwa. Facebook ilikuwa FB ilikuwa. And then nilikuwa na simu gani? Nilikuwa na hizi kuna simu fulani chinku inaitwa Bad. Watu wenye wananielewa, Bad ni ya China. So hiyo simu ilikuwa hizi simu zenye ukishika, ukifinya, lazima ufinye na nguvu, sasa ndio like screen ufinye. Alafu I don't know like mother yangu ananinunulia. And then your time sijui ni perspective gani tulikuwa nayo, like screen, as long as screen ni kubwa, wewe simu iko sawa. So tukiongea na huo dem hapo hivyo nini one time tukajua okay sawa venye kuko ni what's it called, mapiroa wake na mapiro wangu pia wako. Si nikasema nini, situpatane. Yeye akasema hapana, acha tusipatane nje, tupatane kwa keja yao. Si nikasema sawa. So si nikapigia mabeshte zangu akaniambia niende na nisiwaangushe. Tunaenda tukafika kwao. Nikifika kwao tukaingia hivi ndani nini okay, si mnajua tu maneno zenye zinaanzanga nini, mnaanza naitwanga nini, kusachiana, you search each other, mnasachiana nini. Kafika kwa kiti, kwa sofa, tukatoka kwa sofa tukaenda kwa bedroom yake. Tumefika kwa bedroom. This is now what happens. Kuna nini clip fulani Crazy Kenani anitengeneza ya akijaribu kudozi na dem alafu anaona kitu haisimami. So imagine niko hapo na dem. Kwanza nikasikia kitu inaniambia usidozi na udem. Nikalenga hiyo story. Dakika kidogo dem ameenda ameshatoa manguo. Mimi niko hapo. Mwanaume atoki, ako tu hapo ananiangalia. Namwambia bro masazi naenda bana. Nikacheki hapa hakuna kitu nikashangaa hizi ni nini bwana. So dakika kidogo ikabidi nidanganye, nikachukua simu nikasema nikapiga nikasema mama there ananipigia. Nini dakika kidogo wana nikakata. No one called. So like a few minutes you can imagine niko hapa na nikisema hivyo I don't have a shirt on, I don't have a short on, ni boxer tu. So nikasema my mom is calling me, I need to leave. We ile luku ninipatiwa na udema nilikuwa nasema by the way venye kuko ukienda hivi manzi hata mimi ndajua sasa. Koza kuna venye unaweza nifikisha hapa alafu niwache. Mimi kasema acha tu niende ni madhe. Si unaona ni madhe si mimi sasa kwa nini unafikiria nini? Sasa nikavaa manguo nikatoka hapo haraka. Mabeshte zangu wananingojea ni wakuniuliza kumeendaje bro? Have you conquered? Mimi nikafika hivi nikawahepa nikafika kijani. So that you see this thing gets weird That's a situation that I averted. Another situation that I experienced was this tuko klabu Mombasa, nimepatana na dem fulani, dem ni fine. Hata nimesahau jina yake. Tumepatana hivi tumefika kijani. Tukifika kijani hivi amekuja tumefanya maneno, bila tujaanza kufanya the constitution part. Ametoa nguo. Akishatoa nguo bado nasikia hiyo voice. Usidozi na umse. Na nakumbuka huko hivyo kitambo pia ile situation. Lakini this time wanaume amesema ndio huyo sisi tuko ready. Lakini sasa hiyo voice inashinda ikisema tu usidozi na udem. Mimi nimekuja nimepanda bed. Dem ako ready. Mimi niko zile za unasikia tu usidozi na udem. Nikasema hapana, nikatulia kwanza. Dem ananiangalia na niuliza kwani ni nini? Nikamwambia tulia kiasi. So nikafikiria last time venye kulienda ule dem hadi aninitishia kaniambia nataka kujiwa, nikasema acha this time nitumie tactic ingine. So this time nikasema mimi sidai kudozi naye kwanza, I need to know you better. Dem akaniangalia zile za kwani umechizi nini? What do you want to know? You want to know me better na tuko hapa already. What do you want to know about me? Naambia hapana wewe dozi na mimi. Nikamwambia me I just want to know you better. Dem akakasirika akavaa nini? Akaniambia by the way anataka kuishia, hata sitaki story mingi. Akaniambia anasikia baridi nimpatie there's a beautiful hoodie I had custom made. Akachukua kavaa akaenda, na hivyo ndo venye hoodie yangu inipotea. So the last one that I experienced, sasa huyu alikuwa wazimu. Tumetoka club na watu wote apart from ule wa kwanza hawa wawili walikuwa wa club. So no actually there were 4 of them, guy Jesus. So tumetoka klabu tumepatana na dem tumefika kejani. Tukifika kejani the same voice unasikia usidozi na udem. Nikashangaa. Before huyo dem by the way wacha nisiwadanganye ndio mfikiria ati ni kila saa. Before huyo dem so there was another lady that we met with nini tunipatana na yeye place nyingine nikiwa Wera Nyali. Tulipatana na yeye nini tukahit hivyo na huyo dem alikuwa tu anatokelezea anytime. So sasa akakuja constitution iniperuziwa wacha nisiwadanganye. But sasa now this other one after akakam kijani after tumejuana and then akikuja kijani listening to that same voice nikasema huyu siwezi. Lakini sasa now the problem is this. Sasa odema niko kwa bed. Mimi naye niko juu yake. Alafu unasikia hiyo voice my friend, dem naye aliamua ati unaniambia nini, mwambia cheki. Hebu tutulie kwanza. Akaniambia tutulie nini? Bro, I never dem anichukua miguu zake akalock kwangu hivi. Akaniambia utoki hapa wise. Utoki hapa hadi unisai. You finish what you have started. Nika akipole haki. Dem alikatalia. Sijaijua mademu anakuanga na nguvu hivyo. Mguu yake amelock kwa mgongo yangu hivi. So at the end of it nasikia tu hiyo voice inaniambia maze usidoze na dem. Usidoze. Sana kashangaa ni nini? Nikamanage convince akaniwacha. Tukadishi and then akaishia. And then sasa the last one is this lady that maze like hawa mademu wote walikuwa warembo. Udem lakini sasa tuko na Nelson. Tuko na Nelson kwa klabu. Tuko na Nelson alafu tunacheki dem moja sisi wote at the same time. So Nelson anasema ni dem ameshamuona wa kwanza, so yeye ndo anaenda na yeye. So nikasema sawa. So sisi tunajua udem anadozi na Nelson. Lakini sasa at the end of it I came to realize udem pia alikuwa ananidai, because there's a time tulikuwa kwa klabu, mimi nimedance wasema mimi surround, alafu nimerudi nimekaa chini dakika kiasi, steam ika lost. Dem akunju yangu dakika kidogo nikashangaa ni nani, lights zikirudi unacheki ni huyo dem. So nikashangaa. And then that specific night there's a fight that inilipukia ndani ya klabu. Unacheki sijui, there's a friend that I have anajijua, mcha niseme ni nani, anajijua tuko na yeye hapo. Nelson hayuko hiyo day. So ni mimi na ubeshte yangu na huu dem mwenye Nelson alikuwa amesema atakuwa na yeye, and then huu beshte yangu alikuwa amekuja na dem mwingine, but sasa huu ni dem yake. So huu dem kuna venye akachiki dem mwingine akaona sijui ni nini nilikuwa nafanyika, and then walikuwa wamelewa. Keep in mind mimi sijai kunywa pombe na bado sijai smoke. Shida ni kwa nini? Wasichana. So tuko hapo au mademu wameonana sijui nini, wakaambiana dakika kidogo manywele wameanza kuvurutana. Mimi najifanya good Samaritan, nataka kwenda hapo hivyo ati kusimamisha fight. Dakika kidogo niko nimevaa t-shirt fulani hapo ni light kabisa. So huyo dem moja achana na huyu dem mwingine, huyu dem wa uchadi anishika shati yangu tu hivi akaifanya hivi kararuka. Nikaona hapa ni kunoma. Nikaambia huyu chali situfanye hivi, tutoe huyu dem hapa juu wote wamelewa, lakini tuende tukapeleke huyu dem kwa Airbnb. Nikasema sawa. Sio chali akaniambia sawa, akaambia huyu dem yake akamwambia cheki tunataka kwenda tupeleke huyu I don't think animwambia tutakama, mwambie tu tunaenda. So tukaenda tukatafuta bamburi mwisho. Kaingia hivyo ndani, kuna keja fulani hapo hivyo. Actually hata hazikukua Airbnb, hizo time Airbnb iko imetokelezea ni kwa lojo. Marooms mob. So tukaenda tukabook room fulani yake, tukampeleka hapo hivyo, tukamseti chini, tukaweka kifunguu sisi tukaenda. But before tutoke kwa hiyo room, dem ako tipsy. Chali ametoka nje. Alafu dem ameambia chali kidogo wacha anakam. Wise anakuja. Si akafunga mlango. Amefunga mlango, dem amekuja, amenichukua, ameniseti kwa wall. Mimi nashangaa hizi nini hizi. Dem ameanza kunipiga kiss, nashangaa si lakini wewe ni dem ya Nelson, nini unataka na mimi? Kaniambia akakuja kanivuruta na nguvu akanirusha kwa kitanda, kaniambia mimi na wewe leo ni hivyo. Nikamwambia cheki hapana, acha tufanye tu hivi. Wacha mimi niende. So si nikaamka haraka dem akasema ni sawa, nikafunga, akaenda akafunga mlango, si tukaenda. Best yangu akaniambia by the way kwani nini kunafanyika kwa nani? Nikamwambia hata usitaki kujua. Tukaenda tukafika, nikampeleka sasa kwa kija yangu to doze. And then sasa asubuhi ndo tuende tuchukue dem at least ndio aende. Uchali ako tipsy, dem ako tipsy, ule dem yake pia ako tipsy, mimi ndo niko sawa. So tumefika kwa keja, tukifika kwa keja si tumedoze. Lakini before tulale manzi, sasa keep in mind mimi niko sober. Mimi akili yangu inaniambia shetani. Sasa mimi niko hapo, unasikia tu yani wise uniachana na dem ni mrembo. Yani uniachana na hii mali tu iende tu hivyo. Kama nani bwana? Kama nani? Dakika kidogo sasa mama niamke saa hii. Hapana, acha tu ni doze. So sinikadoze. Asubuhi kafika 5. Akili yangu ni nini? Kaniamsha. Nikasema wacha niende. By the time nitoke kwa keje ni kwa 6 am. So nimetoka kijani, nimeachana na best yangu akidoze kijani. Nimefika kwa hiyo lojo, nimepatana na udem. So nikifika hapo nimepatana na madhe wa hiyo area, nimemwambia nimekuja kuchukua msichana mwenye tulileta hapa jana, jo alikuwa tipsy. So tumefungua mlango, dem nimempata hapo hivyo. Bado ana doze. So nimefika hapo, nimemwambia ni aje, si tunafaa kuishia. I think it was around 6:20 hapo hivyo. Akasema sawa acha aoge kwanza. My people, dema niingia akaoga. Mimi niko kwa bed, juu hakuna kiti, so nikakaa tu hapo hivyo chini na ngojea amalize shughuli zake tuende. Mse anitoka kwa nitonga nini? Anitoka kwa bathroom akiwa ndethe bana. Sasa nikashanga hizi ni gani bana? Anakuja na anaanza kujipaka mafuta hapo mbele yangu. Sasa mimi nikashanga hizi ni gani? Sasa mimi hadi naanza kuangalia roof sasa. Akaniambia najua kenye unapenda kenye unaangalia. Dema kapanda kitanda hapo hivyo, akaniambia sasa itakuaje? Sasa yako soba na bado nikasema hapana. Kitu unasikia kitu inaniambia buda usidoze na udem. Nikamwambia hapana, lakini sioni Damian. Akaniambia hapana, mimi si Damian Nelson. Kaambia Dema kajam. Kaambia tuende basi. Tukatoka, tukafika kwa stage. Nikampatia fare, I think nipatia so 2. Akakasirika, akaniambia sasa unanipatia so 2 ndo nini happen? Alikuwa anangoja nipatie tao. Nikamwambia hapana, sikutoka hapo hivi hadi sijui penye unaenda ni 50. Sasa mimi nikupatia so 2 kuna shida gani? Akajam dakika kidogo akapigia chali fulani. 5 minutes hata zikupita nikiwapo na yeye, mimi nafikiria tunangoja gari. Buda, another dude akatokeleza sijui wapi. Kuja na piga na kisa hapo hivyo na wakaenda na nikashangazi ni gani bwana. So you can imagine all those 4 situations. Unapata tu na voice, and then hers was so bad because there's a time afterwards nilikuwa nimedoze. I had a nightmare about that specific lady. So I came to realize afterwards there was so many things that were happening. To give you context, the second lady that I told you guys about, the second lady mwenye nilikuwa namwambia nataka kumjua, akaniambia unataka kunijua kwa nini? Si tuko hapa. Dem apparently afterwards nilikuja nikasikia akona CCUKD, akona STI tu fulani hapo hivyo. From other people, watu wakaniuliza wise I hope kudoze na udem. Watu walikuwa najua nilikuwa na yeye one time. Nikasema zikisi, nikasema ude mwingine alikujanga akakonda sijui nini kamfanyikia, the third one. So pia huyo sikuelewa. The first one got a child afterwards, but not from me, from a friend. So kuna mtu aniona nikani nilalisha, akaenda akachukua kadoze na yeye akapata mtoi. So you can see all the situations still leading from the context of wanting affirmation from specific ladies just because you never experienced it from your father. So imagine niko Mombasa hiyo time hizi vitu zote, the 3 ladies hizo vitu zote zina happen, and this is excluding the people that I actually go to sleep with. Achana na hao wenye God alikuwa ananiambia usidoze na hawa. Keep in mind, my mind imesema mimi sitaikuwa believer in my life. Mimi nilikuwa Andrew Kibe. Sasa mimi na God hatupatani, huyu mtu exist just because of trauma. So you can imagine hiyo situation yote ikafika to a point where na imagine I think my life is full of like taking risks. I love taking risks in life because hiyo ndo kenye imenifikisha place niko sahi. So there's a point in time nilikuwa Bamburi, niko zile za by the way, like what am I actually doing here? Like I need to stretch myself. At that specific season in my life ndo time nakomati ni dedingi. Nakomati kidedi nikarushwa Malindi. No, time nakomati ni dedi nilikuwa nimesha transferiwa, nilikuwa Malindi. Yes. So nikiwa hapo 3 months later nikapata job Flamingo by Pride Inn as a choreographer there. So nikifika huko hivyo, there's a season in my life, like 7 months working in Flamingo by Pride Inn. Sarova wanted to poach me. Sarova wakanicall, nikafika huko hivyo, nikapatana na the then manager sasa yuko. Nikapatana naye, tukabonga naye, akaniambia by the way mimi napenda kazi yenye unafanya, because there's a time that they came to see what we were doing and the presentation there was just fantastic. Like the dance presentations, the team building, the aqua aerobics and all that. So tuko hapo, Sarova wameniambia wanaorganize maneno nini, and then at that season, that's also another story for another time, but end of the story there, I think God aninipatia hapo hivyo, because I realized there's something that was happening in Flamingo by Pride Inn, and as Sarova was poaching me, there's something they told me that the thing that you're experiencing in this side about specific people's characters, they are the same characters but just different names that you'll experience on this side. Buddha, sasa you can imagine now wondering, okay, so now what is this? And then out of nowhere unasikia voice inakwambia, by the way, enda Nakuru. So there's a friend that I have that called me before then, told me, by the way, there's a place that I am in Nakuru, which is Wendo. Shout out to Wendo. that I have been in. It's a campsite, 15 acres. Lakini mimi sikuwa najua ni 15 acres na sikuwa najua ni campsite. Ananiambia tu niko Nakuru, place fulani naweza taka ukam. So the previous year I had refused. I had said I'm going but I didn't go. But now this time, like nilikuwa tu nasikia voice inaniambia toka huku ufike Nax. So mimi niko zile za hawa wase wa Sarova wamesema wananilipa 3 to 5 times more than what I was being paid in Flamingo by Pride Inn. So you can imagine, the logical mind won't understand that situation. So Flamingo wananiambia Flamingo wako na hii season, Sarova wako na hii season, they have something better. Mimi Kenya umse niko ananiambia tu ni wewe fanya hivi, mind your own business, don't worry when you see any lady or any harassment taking place, madam. Huko hivyo kulikuwa na a lot of things that were happening in regards of ladies being harassed by the then managers. Nasikia wanivutuanga kazi. But you can imagine they also don't have the power to speak out because wanajua watavutwa job na wana place ya kupata job ingine, so wananyamaza tu. So hiyo situation yote God anakuambia toka hapa, hata kama ni pesa umepatiwa, enda hii place yenye nakushow. So mimi nikasema hey, why not? Because you can imagine in my life, just to give you guys context, because najua kuna watu wengine wanaweza niambia nyinyi umechizi wewe. Just to give you guys context, there is a season in my life when I was in Mombasa, before I was even born again, that I spent 1 million on one lady. Kuna mahoteli. Naona venye watu wanafanyanga klabu muenda. Unatoka hii klabu, unaenda hii klabu, unaenda hii klabu. Club hopping. So now, sisi tuko tunaenda from one hotel to another, and then you just give the card, they swipe, you don't even take the receipt. So in 1 week time, umesha chapa meter bila hata kujua, because I wasn't like looking at the balance. So how I knew ilikuwa meter was a notification from my phone. So nikashanga we. Na ni dem moja. Obviously I am sure ninipate huo dem trauma. Because every single guy that she dated niko sure nilikuwa namcompare na mimi, which is just weird. But at the end of it, niniamua nitoke hapo nifike Nax. Lakini sasa the anxiety and panic attacks that I had was from the context of what will my parents say. Because I called my mom before declining that job offer, told her that nimepata job offer that inanilipa 5 times more, nini akasema sawa, but nikamdanganya tena nikamwambia hiyo job haijaingiana, but mimi ndo nilikuwa nimeikata. Juu nilikuwa najua madhangu anaweza nimaliza bwana. Nikatoka hapo nikafika Nax. Fika Nax nikachukuliwa na beshte yangu tukafika hadi Wendo, and then that's how life started. But now when you look at all of that situation, nimefika Nakuru, still having the same character as Mombasa. Lakini sasa hii area yenye tumeingia ni ya Wakristo. Watu wameokoka. Sasa mimi nimeingia hivi, nimezoea kukaa. Unajua Mombasa, muna kasingi left, right and center. So tumetoka Mombasa, nimefika Nakuru, umeingia hivi, unapatana na kimsalaba hapo hivyo ukiingia. So nashanga, hizi ni gani bwana? So si tumeingia tumepark. Tukisha park tumetoka hapo hivyo, nimeshangaa hapa ni wapi nimekuja. Kwanza before hata tuingie kwa gate, by the way, ilikuwa maize farm left na right, and then hiyo barabara ilikuwa like 15 minutes inside. So niko nashanga manzi huko ni wapi nimeingia. So in my mind ako zile za na umeacha job Mombasa, umekuja huku kufanya nini? Tumeenda tumefika. Sasa most people don't know this. I encountered God that season. Hiyo njia ya kutoka Mombasa hadi Nakuru. Literally, that was my encounter with God. So tukifika hiyo Wendo, something had changed. Bado sikuwa nimenotice, but something had changed. So nimeingia hivi, tumepatana na bigi wa huko. Nimeonyeshwa place ya kukaa. That place is huge. 15 acres is not a small place. Tumefika hivi, tumetulia. And then this is how I knew God wanted me to be there. The vision that I had for all these years, which was to create a safe space for emerging leaders to experience or to be aligned in identity, discipline, and authority so that they can lead in clarity, integrity, and dominion. So when you understand that specific space, nikaona hiyo space hivyo nikasema manze hii space iko fit. So nikiambia that owner, when I talked to him and then told him the vision that I had nini, akasmile tu akaniambia acha nikutembeshe. Buddha nakwambia, everything that he was saying was the things that have been in my head. The things that we have wanted to build mimi na mabeshte zangu. Like a creative space yenye wase wanaweza come bila kufocus na story ya rent, like but wa get ku experience creativity, wa grow gifts zao na wa learn to be fruitful, multiply, subdue na take dominion. And everything was there. Lakini this is now where the weird things come in. Your mindset is still the same. Your mindset is still the same. Uko kwa season yenye unapatana na mademu wenye wameokoka hapo ndani, lakini unacheki si udemu kitaka naweza pita naye, lakini hapana, hao ni watu wenye wameokoka. So the only verse I used to know was John 3:16. Na hata sikuwa naijua yote. So unapatana na watu asubuhi wanaamka, kuna devotion. Unapatana na wase wakiongea ni story ya word. Unashangaa sasa hizi ni nini sasa hizi? But sasa umenyamaza most of the times. But sooner rather than later, now I started like acclimatizing to now the environment and all that. So ukiachana na hiyo story yote, sasa tukirudi now back to the context of the reason as to why I felt like there was something more, was kuna a lot of situations where I heard God's voice, but I refused to listen because of the environment. There's a friend that told me this: just because a place is physically green does not mean it's your greener pastures. And I know there's the other reality that, there's nothing such as greener pastures. You just have to water the place that you're in. But I believe in focusing on God's voice outside of easy vitu zote zingine zenye nasema. Moral of the story, in all of the things that I experienced in regards to the ladies and lecha nisiwadanganya, hata huko ndani ya hiyo campsite I experienced temptations and trials even after saying that I have stopped being it is not even promiscuous, like umeacha tu kurandaranda. We have camps, random ladies wanakuja tu wanasema wise ni aje nini 15 acres. Unajua tunaweza tafuta place ya ku Peru's constitution, lakini mimi nasema like kuna there's a way you honor a space that you're in, because I think at that specific point I had been renewed in the mind to a point of understanding the significance of honoring God and also honoring people and the environment that you're in. But how God revealed to me that everything that I was experiencing was because of lack of affirmation from my family, lack of parents, present parents, like they are there but they are not there. So understanding that, it brought me closer to God to actually try to understand, like, God, okay, so mnasema ni Christ, who Christ ni nani? Okay, so hizi vitu zote zenye so who is this Christ? I remember there's a situation where before I came to Nakuru, I was in Mombasa. I hosted like 7 to 10 guys in that kabitsita that nimewaambia. I hosted 7 to 10 guys. And one of the situations that I got where I think I had a panic attack was we were spending 2,000 a day on them eating only. Walikuwa naenda gym na wanunulia maji 20 liters mbili, because walikuwa nazimaliza wakiwa gym, dance practice, because they were staying in very different places. And I was like, okay guys, since niko Bamburi and the gym that we are using is literally like 3 minutes away, why don't you guys come to my house and then I'll host you for like 6 months or 1 year depending. Bro, unaleta unga mbili za ugali zinaisha na siku moja. Like, and I used to have small sufurias. Those people used to cook. Kama sufuria ni 3, moja ni ya mboga, si ndio? Wamepika mboga mob, hizi mbili zinapikwa sembe. So you can imagine. Wanaeka kwa wakishaanza kupika, wanaseti maji nini imetoka nini, unatoa alafu unapika tena. So manze nilikuwa natumia domob. So and then one time nikakuja nikasikia bado walikuwa wanaleta madem kejani. Wanachapate wana smoke. So mimi nakuja hivi napata keje iko sawa, mimi sijui. Neighbors wangu ndo wakaanza kuniambia, so unashangazi ni gani? So one day madem wengine wakakam kijani na hao maboys nini wakijibamba bamba hapo. I don't know what happened. I was thinking, nikasikia tu siwezi pumua. Nashanga nini inafanyika? I thought I was having a heart attack. Nikatoka nje. Nikaanza kupumua na nguvu, na shangazi ni nini bwana? Nashanga kwani na dead. And they don't know, cause nitoka nje nikafunga mlango. Nikasema acha nikimbie ninunue maziwa. So nikakimbia huko chini nafikiria nikaenda nikanunua maziwa nikakunywa. Bro nitapika maziwa yote. But at the end of it nikatulia. Then later on, that's when I came to realize that I had a panic attack. So one of the things that I got as a revelation from everything that was happening in Mombasa and even in Nakuru was from the context of every single time I used to wonder the thing that was coming, the thing that would happen, like the what ifs. What if I get this? What if this that doesn't work out? What if I go to Nakuru and it doesn't work out and I end up having lost this bigger opportunity? And now that I got out of Nakuru last year, or is it even last in 2026, 2024? Because last year yote mzima sikukuwa huko. So 2024, I got to see them last in November. Then 2025. So 2020. So you can imagine getting out of this because I was volunteering for 6 years. 2025 nikiamua hiyo mwaka yote nikasema okay, hii mwaka ndaget kubuild hii kenye God amenipatia kwa hati yangu. I got to experience quite a hard time because you realize this is a harsh reality that I realized. The reality is the people that you think are going to be your helpers are not actually your helpers, and the people that you don't expect to be your helpers will be the helpers that God actually sends to you. Nakwambia hapo ndo penye ninijuanga, just because you are saved usingoje mtu akusaidie. Don't be entitled to anyone's help, by the way. And this is just a fact. One of the things that I have realized is believers will not be there to help you. The people that will help you are watu wenye wamelewa, the people that are Muslims or are atheists or just random people outside of the people that you think hao ndio wenye wanakusaidia. So 2025 was a challenging year because I got to realize that the hard way, and it really broke me because I was like, okay, so I've spent 6 years lakini napitia a lot of things, but none of you are helping. But again, none of you can help. The people that can help are also focusing on their own vision. So they don't have time to start asking you whatever you're going through. So I got to understand it the hard way, that you're not supposed to be entitled to people helping you. Now this is where the harsh reality about men comes in. My friend, you will be thinking of what if this does not work out? What if you get this opportunity to start this business and it does not work out? And I have had seasons where most of the times that I have been alone was focused in manze kesho ndatoa wapi rent, ndatoa wapi do ya food, ndatoa wapi nini, nataka kufanya hii, like where will all of this come from? The only thing that I can say has given me peace is always going back. So muko na different scenarios. There are times that I want to read the word na like the physical Bible na nasikia tu haiko. So I usually listen to sermons. Sana listen to Miles Monroe and Jerry Flowers. Hawa watu wengine, who else do I listen to? Most of them. No, and Philip Mitchell. So Philip Mitchell, Jerry Flowers na Miles Monroe. So nikisikia siwezi soma word, hapo ndo penye niko. So nikisikia pia siwezi soma hiyo word, both of them naweza sikiza tu audio like audio Bible. Koza kuna ingine YouTube inaitwa Dramatized, unaweza search Dramatized NKJV audio Bible. So nasikiza hiyo, na kama siwezi sikiza hiyo, I just listen to music, like worship music. And you come to realize that the battle is for your soul, for your mind. Ndio maana God did not say be transformed by the things you do, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind in Romans 12:2. So when you understand that, every single time that you get to experience panic attacks or anxiety, one of the things that I used to ask myself is, why am I focusing so much in the future? Can I control it? No, I can't control it. Can I be there? No, you can't be in the future because you're in the present. So what can I do? The only thing that I can do is to embody the thing that I am constantly thinking of manze, you need rent. Okay, you already have it. Because even if you worry, you won't solve anything. So at the end of it, and these are things that I usually never pray for. I have never prayed for rent. Okay, when I was a new believer, I used to pray for it. Not even rent, but food, nini, clothes. Because tulikuwa tunastay Nakuru. So nakumbuka nikiokoka niniokoke hapo hivyo Nakuru. But afterwards, I realized ninitoka Nakuru nikiwa square one, like a child. Because nikiwa Mombasa, you can see that kind of shift and dilemma in the mind where unaweza tumia mita moja ukiwa Nakuru in women, alafu unakuja not Nakuru, Mombasa, unaweza tumia mita moja in Mombasa, then ukikuja Nakuru una serve, una volunteer but you're not being paid. But ukitoka Nakuru kuja Nairobi uko square one because you've not been paid. Hiyo pesa yote unikujanga nayo kutoka Mombasa iniishanga. So uko huku Nairobi, you are starting from square one. 2024 nilikuwa on and off, but I was still in Nakuru, Nairobi. 2025 ndo nimekaa Nairobi peke yangu, my friend. That is when I got to know manze, nyewe Joe, I am fully induced ndani ya the corporate world sasa. So now I had to get to wrap myself into the concept of there is no one that is coming to save me, not my payrolls, not the people that we were with in Wendo, because I am not helping them push their vision. So why would they help me? You get? So most people always help you if they only have something to gain. You only get to know someone, you get to truly know someone if they can help you with no expectation. Like they help you not because that you're doing something for them, but they help you because they're just helping you. That's when you truly get to know someone. Hapo ndo nilijuanga, by the way, hapa ndo utajua ujui. Had a lot of instances in 2025 where nilikuwa na panic attacks, anxiety, mazeni nilikuwa na shina nikifikiria mazeni nini, and God still worked out in all of that. Got to give myself in 2025, the end of it, took my team to Malindi, we got to serve there, spent I don't know how much, hata chance waambie juu mnaweza cheesy, nikakuja Nairobi tena this year. Nunge, lakini who is God? Who is God? So when you understand all these things, no matter how much you start overthinking about things, the thing you need to remind yourself is this. Last year, this happened. God came through. The attitude, gratitude is the gateway to understanding peace. When you get to remind yourself, maze God amenifanyia nini hii time? Hii time nilikuwa na stress, nilikuwa na overthink, if do ya rent ama do ya kulipa my staff itatokelezea, nini overthink, but God still came through. So why should I overthink now? So every single thing that you're getting to go through, the steps that you need to take for you to understand how to overcome anxiety. The first step is this. You need to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you'll be trying to aim at very different things. Because when you know who you are, then you know what you're supposed to do. And you need to know who you are. So understanding who you are is understanding whose you are. Understanding whose you are is understanding who is I am. When you understand who I am is, then you come to realize, God, ameniambia, I only need to focus on seeking Him. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all its righteousness. Don't seek ye first this job. Don't seek ye first this opportunity. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Seek ye first to be in His presence. Then He reveals you to yourself. Then He reveals the vision that He has for you. The plans that He has for you. A plan to prosper you and not to fail you. To give you a hope and a future. So when you understand that, then it puts you in a peace. You are Isaiah 26 and in your show. You keep in perfect peace those whose mind are stayed on you. In every single thing, when you understand that, then you focus now on what you're meditating on. So when that thought comes in, interrogate it, ask yourself this question. Why am I thinking what I am thinking right now? Am I anxious right now because God has said He cannot help me? Am I anxious because I don't know who I am? Am I anxious because I have not yet reminded? Faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. So if you're waiting for a sermon to remind you, you need to remember that you have a tongue and you have a mouth. And you can keep on reminding yourself because as you speak, you're also hearing. So sometimes your mind cannot see, but the more you keep on speaking it out, you reach to a point whereby you speak out life instead of death. Because as a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever you're thinking, if whatever you're meditating on is I don't have, what if this does not work out? What if this goes wrong? That's who you are. But when you meditate on God, what God has said, that you're above and not beneath, you're the head and not the tail, you're a king, you are a son before you are assigned. You're not assigned before you become a son. So God is not focused on the thing that you're doing for Him, but your heart. If your heart is for Him, the fruit that comes out of that is you doing His will. Because He will be the one that is focused on expressing Himself through you. Galatians 2:20, because you're dead and it is Him that is ruling you. So when you understand that, then you focus now on putting yourself in environments and fellowships where people can actually speak life to you, and where you can be vulnerable. You can be vulnerable to actually express the thing that is in your head, because sometimes it's just in your head. It's not even real. Just get to share, hey, by the way, there's this that I'm going through, and this that I'm going, and I've been overthinking. And someone encourages you. Because Hebrews 13 says that brothers and sisters, as long as it is today, keep on encouraging one another, so that sin's deceitfulness may not crawl into your hearts. So when you understand that, then gratitude as an attitude brings you to the point of having that peace that surpasses all human understanding. And you keep on reminding yourself that you are not alone. God is with you. You are hidden with Christ in God, regardless of the things that you have gone through, regardless of the situations that you have found yourself in. You understand that God has said that greater is he that is in you than he who is in the world. And you understand that outside of everything that is happening, I am a son. And death does not have dominion over me, because everything that God has said that I am. Everything that I am seeking is already in me and is still seeking me. So at the end of it, there is nothing that you are going to get, because you have already gotten it, because it's in you. If God is the Alpha and Omega, he's the beginning and the end, and he's said that he's in you, every single thing that you're seeking, you've already gotten. So you just need to align yourself and your mind in that mentality of, if this is what I am seeking, what character should I have to make sure that this is fully aligned with me right now? And you do it. If it is walking in a specific manner, if it is talking in a specific manner, if it is dressing in a specific manner, if it is putting yourself in environments that stretch you, if it is putting yourself in environments where you get to meet new people, do it. But again, do it and leave everything else to God. Because one of the things nimejipata nikifanya, I have found myself doing things and still holding on, thinking that, hey, this thing has to work out this way. So you try to control the outcome, but you can't control the outcome. Only God controls that outcome. Your work is to be found faithful. So your work is to express yourself and leave the rest to God. Just let go. Stop doing. The problem that we have is we are trying so hard. And the thing that God has told us to do is just to believe. That is the work that we have. Because the disciples asked Christ, and Christ akasema, the only work you have is to believe. Trust in, stick to and rely on God in every single thing that you're doing. And he will show you a world that you have never experienced. Because when you don't limit God, then it gives him that room of expressing himself and showing himself true to you. And it exposes you to a life that you've never experienced. So in everything that you're going through right now, God has already worked out. God has set you free. So ladies and gentlemen, in every single situation that you find yourself in having anxious thoughts, I'll read you guys specific verses so that you get to understand the significance of all of this. So Philippians 4:6 says this, be anxious of nothing, but in prayers and supplications. Let me just read the whole of this. Philippians chapter 4 verse 6. Let me open it. Philippians chapter 4 verse 6. Philippians chapter 4 verse 6, it says, be anxious of nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, by thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ. Another verse is Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 to 34, which all of you, most of you, not all of you, most of you know, that seek ye first the kingdom of God and all its righteousness, and all these things shall be handed unto you. So let me start again. Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. 34, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. So the only thing you're supposed to focus on is Leo. The only control you have over is Leo. In everything that you're doing, the only power you have over is not even today, now. Because you don't know in the evening utakuwa wapi. Some people have expected to be doing something in the evening na wakapata accident. So at the end of it, be faithful with the now. Be faithful with the now in every single thing that you're doing. And then, this is a thing that I usually ask myself. At my death, what will people say about me? Because my life should not only be focused about getting money, as much as it's a reality on the ground right now, that as men, you need to be the provider, because people don't care about you. As you've gotten and as you're getting, that specific stability, what impact are you leaving on earth? What disciples are you mentoring? So that by the time that you leave something inside people where people can actually say, this person impacted me. Because no matter how much you give someone 1,000, 2,000, people will only remember that season when you were with them and you gave them that advice and you were with them when no one else was. So, ladies and gentlemen, life is not about being anxious. Life is about being in step with the Holy Spirit. So in everything that mna go through, mjue si ati ni kama sasa ati mtu ameokoka imaanishe sasa hajapitia vitu zenye pia nyinyi mmepitia. But there's a reason as to why we are seeking God, and there's a reason as to why tumefika hiyo point yenye una realize the desire is to walk in step with the Spirit so that we do not gratify the desires of the flesh. So in everything that you're doing, understand the power that you have and understand that you have been set free. It is for this is Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 that says, it is for freedom that Christ has set you free. So start firm and do not let yourselves be burdened again by the yokes of slavery. That lie, that deception that the devil shows you that you are not enough. That is the problem that we have. We are always trying to attain something. We have not just been called to be attaining and to be earning a living. Who told you that you need to earn a living? Yani God created you to take dominion and to live. Why should you earn? Why should you be born to be paying people just because you are alive? And there are principles that you can get to remove yourself from that circle, which is Kenya Andrew Teta naongeleanga story ya matrix. There's a way that you can remove yourself from that circle of always earning, and most of the times you're not even earning, you're just earning a living from the context of from food, from pocket to from earning to mouth, from food to mouth. So when you understand all these things, then you put yourself in a position of asking yourself, what impact are you leaving? How many people will say, Manze Wise has impacted me with this and this? In every single post that I upload, can people really say that I have given them a side of life, or I have enlightened them to see that they are not supposed to be focusing on their problems, but the person that is bigger than their problems? Have I led them to Christ, or have I led them to myself? Have I led them to a specific person, or is it Christ that is glorified in every single thing that I have done? So, ladies and gentlemen, in everything that you're doing, put Christ first, put God first, and you'll see vitu zenye atakufanyia. There are things that you won't even understand, manze. And leave that room, as Tony Ndungu says. Leave room for miracles, manze. Leave room for magic. 2026 is a year where you understand that God has set you free. And he has said, take dominion. So in every single thing that you are doing, remember that you have that power. You have that power to take dominion of every single thing that God has laid in your heart. Nothing is impossible. There is no obstacle. It's just your mind. So try it. What do you have to lose? If no one is helping you right now, that means no one has been there for you. Then what do you have to prove to people? Do humiliate yourself. Do, if it's a post that you want to post. If it is something that you want to do. If you will fail, then it's a learning experience. Lakini, don't put yourself in a specific season where you think that the only thing you need to focus on is try to show people that you've made it. You've bought a house, you've bought a car. People who don't care were never there for you when you were struggling. At the end of it, it is only God that you should focus on. The main aim is for you to focus on that kingdom. Because when you die, people won't care about what you did. People will care about the lifestyle and the things that you impacted in them. The character that you help them understand. Maybe imagine you dying and people saying, this person helped me discover my true self by leading me to Christ. Mimi, that is my aim in every single thing that we are doing. So ladies and gentlemen, remember that you are not alone. In every single thing that you're doing, you are not alone. The church has failed you. You are not alone. People have failed you. You are not alone. There is someone that has said that cursed is the man that puts his trust on human beings. When God says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Don't trust in your mind. Trust in God. So when your mind can lie to you. That's why anxiety is actually there. So people, be aware. Be sensitive. Be blessed. Peace out.